Welcome to the Mechanical Room. A Centrotherm production focusing on all things in and around the HVAC industry. And now, your hosts, Michael Sokaris and Matthew Price.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, venting enthusiasts the world over, global trade show attendees, podcast hosts of Mediterranean descent, Mike Sokaris, welcome back to the Mechanical Room for the February episode. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing excellent, and it's good to be back because I actually missed last month. You had to do it solo. I was disappointed. It was my own problem.
You did appear in it, though.
I did.
You did.
I just felt bad that I was not there to greet our our groupies and fans,
our adoring hundreds of millions of podcast listeners out there who are clamoring for the venting knowledge.
Yes,
so you appeared from Las Vegas.
I did.
Which actually prompted a bit of a copyright claim on YouTube. But since we're not monetizing this, it's not a big deal.
Okay, I didn't know about this.
Well, if you recall, you were in Vegas, and I used a very specific song behind your clip.
Yes, you did, and it was picked up.
It was.
That's amazing what these technologies will do these days.
Yes, you cannot get past. Do you know how they do it?
No.
Effectively, they are monitoring the sound waves and matching them up to known database.
Tens of millions of posts.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So for example, if I was to, as I do sometimes, cover a song, right, play Nirvana and sing Nirvana, let's say,
you wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
It would not
between you and
the algorithm
still catches it.
Would not be able to catch it because there's the frequencies and the sound waves are not remotely exact.
But if anybody could pull it off, it would be.
Oh yes, well I appreciate that, but even if you made the riffs sound the same and did a duplicate copy of it, you'd have to master it the same way. So I used a studio version of Viva Las Vegas as performed by Elvis Presley, the famous one, of course. Bright Light City is gonna set your soul.
See what I mean?
So YouTube picked up on that, but it's still on there because that's fine. And I actually really like how that clip turned out.
It did. It was good.
You and Austin
I was joking about not being here to a degree. Just scheduling was scheduling, and we were at the IBS show, which was wonderful.
The irritable bowel syndrome show?
Well, close, but not quite. The International Builder Show.
So a couple friends of mine. So when I shared, several of my personal friends who are not in the HVAC space that follow Centrotherm to see the activity that go on, right? So when I shared that.
That's what they thought it was.
Well, that's what everybody would think IBS means. I mean, that's the most.
I guess I've been doing this too long. That's not what I would have thought.
If I was the proprietor of the International Building Show, I would change the name. Yeah. Because the show comes and goes, but irritable bowel stays year long. HBS,
International Home Builder Show.
That would be.
But I bet you there is an acronym for that.
The HBS would be even better. The Home Builder Show, right? I mean,
but you're taking international.
You are, but so long as you don't have a terrible acronym in there,
let's move on.
It's what I think of when I think of that show. I mean, it really does. Have you ever seen the movie The Lady Killers, the remake by the Coen brothers?
I did not.
There is a character who has international building syndrome, and he, it's just a constant thing, and he is constantly gripping his midsection, let's say, and he's going International Builder Show, he's going IBS, he's.
IBS.
You be what?
Irritable bowel syndrome.
He's got that issue.
Did we ever think we would be talking about this?
I did. Okay. I was hopeful.
Okay. Well, you steered the conversation exactly to where you wanted.
Well, potty humor is kind of right in my wheelhouse. Okay. So,
So
we
welcome-
are in the plumbing space.
Welcome
right?
to the mechanical room for our February podcast.
Yes, indeed.
So what do we got in store this month?
Well, we're going to naturally give the prize away for Show Us Your Pipe. And we've got a very nice residential installation that we're going to share here. And then,
Is there diamond plate involved?
oh, I think if I'm allowed to select the winner, there's always diamond plate.
Okay.
So yes, there
So to you
is.
aspiring winners out there,
If you want to get on the
if you
show.
want to be on, you better have some diamond plate.
So it's funny. It's not IBS though that one. It's IBC. So
Is there some kind of
yeah,
potty humor for that too?
irritable bowel and colon, right? Is that what? Sorry, IBC.
Oh,
Obviously,
maybe we should re-record this
we're
one.
going off the rails here. No. This is exactly the kind of content that our listeners are looking for.
Okay.
So show us your pipe is obviously a pun unto its.
In
Come
and
on,
of
we're
itself,
we're
that's right.
already we're
Yeah,
in
that's
the
fair
wheelhouse here.
Fair enough.
So of course we'll do that segment, and then that's what's coming up next before we go into our guest, which is going to be I believe our first distributor partner
I believe so.
guest. We've had we've had engineers and building officials and
Reps.
association members like Talbot, CEO of Hardy, and Miss Ladd, who works for ASA. So we've run the gamut, but we haven't had a distributor on yet, and actually we've got a really special one for a number of reasons today. Mr. Hart is who?
Mr. Brandon Hart is the hydronics manager at Etna Supply. And coincidentally, there's some other things going on with Etna Supply in the ISH show, another acronym. That we'll talk about.
I'll leave that one alone.
And then we'll talk about that when we bring Mr. Hart on. But he is our special guest for this month. And actually, I was kind of surprised when we were thinking about who should we bring on as our guest for this month. We said, hey, let's do a distributor. And it's like, did we do a distributor before? I'm surprised it took this long because there's such an integral part of the supply chain for our product and any plumbing and heating products in general. So looking forward to that discussion.
Right, and of course we will be talking by and large about the TNT trip to ISH, which I think you alluded to, but
It's many acronyms today.
oh my God, TNT, irritable bowels,
IBS.
I mean IBC, HVAC,
Centrotherm.
TMR, mechanical room. That's why
Yeah.
I abbreviate it that way sometimes, et
We need a
cetera.
dictionary.
An onslaught of acronyms.
Yes.
But yes, so Etna Supply was the selected guest of the TNT winner. It's our training contest that we run annually at Centrotherm. Balfrey Johnston, our Michigan reps, won. They selected Brandon to be part of that trip. And we also have Andy Vanderslag of Macatower Radiant coming along as well. So very heavy, I was going to say Wolverine Syndicate, but actually Spartans, I suppose. Michigan is the Wolverine state.
Yes.
So that was where my head went to initially. But as we know, Brandon is more of a Michigan State guy. I don't know if George and Dan of Balfrey are. I don't think they're big sports guys.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you, but I've not discussed Detroit sports with them.
Yeah, I wonder. Well, I guess we're gonna find out.
Well, when I go to Minnesota, I talk about Viking sports. Still hurting over that,
Well.
but what are you gonna do?
Yes,
Someday, hopefully.
as a Bills fan, I have no, I guess
We both were let down this year.
sympathy or
Yeah.
the same pain, the
Yeah.
same heartache, same IBS. We're coming right back.
We need to move on to the next subject.
It's time to show us your pipe.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is my favorite part of the podcast again. I always look forward to this segment. It is Show Us Your Pipe. And Mr. Price, what's the story? Who won? Why did they win? What are we looking at?
So as always, I'm flashing some of the photos here. I do the Ken Burns effect when I don't have
You do
video
that.
content, and we're zooming in gracefully here on some of this stuff.
I can
And-
visualize it.
Yeah, Mr. Damien, who is the owner and operator of Smart Elements Heating and Cooling out of Huntsville, Ontario. sent
another
these.
Canadian winner.
Another Canadian winner.
Those
I mean,
Canadians are kicking butt.
those Canucks, those Jets, those Nordiques. They do a hell of a job up in the Great White North there.
The Senators.
Yeah, the Senators.
The Maple Leafs.
Yeah, you know
we're
better
talking
than
sports.
I do.
We were talking about sports earlier. Now we're back to sports.
Better than what we were just talking about, probably.
Yes.
So, anyways, Damien posted these photos to his Instagram, which is the Smart Elements Heating and Cooling Instagram, and it's an IBC boiler paired with matching indirect tank and air handler. It has radiant in-floor in the basement as well as the garage. That is something that I'm know
envious.
My wife would probably murder someone to have the garage be a little bit warmer when you go in there.
I'm envious on that.
Yeah, that radiant in-floor in the garage, that's a nice little bit, a nice little addition to a house there. So it also boasts a cold climate heat pump for year-round comfort. Damien says, quote, choosing the right equipment and materials is always very important to us, and a product like Centrotherm always makes his job easier and safer for everyone. That was unprompted. Damien, thank you for that testimonial. Really, really appreciate it. I do want to call out Viga, Webstone, IBC, that's IBC.
Let's not go back there.
GE Appliances, Uponor, Calefi, Calefactio, and Axiom, all of which are present.
I think we're missing one. I think there was Techmar in there, was it not?
Yeah, but I'm not sure if is that part of this one? I mean, it's in this photo, but was that part of this installation? I'm not sure. I'm not certain. It's in the foreground, but yeah, I mean, it's in the photo, so you're probably right.
And diamond plate.
Oh yes.
We gotta get. You know what we gotta do?
We need a diamond plate manufacturer on this show.
We need a brand of diamond plate and have them be one of our guests.
I think you're absolutely right. I don't even know who makes this stuff, so we have to figure it out.
I'm not sure. We gotta figure it out.
Sheet metal company?
Yeah.
Technically a competitor, probably, right?
No, not sheet metal. We don't make that stuff.
Well, but if they make the ducts for Air Excellent, also.
Yeah, they probably don't.
I mean, that's okay. Not that we would be opposed to that anyway.
If you're a competitor and you want to come on, we're open to that.
Yeah, there's a little competitive.
We can talk about codes. We can talk about whatever.
We talk about our product superiority.
Goes without saying.
Talk about our better marketing.
That goes without saying as well.
So, yeah, but I mean, this photo in particular, just to get back on topic here, as we've digressed quite a bit. This is actually one of my favorite photos from a compositional standpoint, like from like an Ansel Adams photography standpoint. I really enjoy this.
Just the angle from low to high.
There's it's got the lens flare from the light bulb, and you can see it, reflecting off of the shiny IBC and the diamond plate and whatnot. I mean, so this photo itself is just like a nice photo, and it really does showcase how clean this work is. And that's why we gave it the award this month, because this is just a sharp looking residential install with, obviously it's not your garden variety residential install. Not every house is blessed to have like a, ventilation systems and radiant in-floor and snow melt and all this other stuff. So this is somebody who is very, obviously it's Canada. So, got a missed call from Jamie upstairs by accident. She accidentally messaged the Instagram and then she quickly hung up. Jamie, I'm gonna come up and see what that was all about. What are you looking at, girl? But anyways, this is just a solid. I mean, what else can you say about this? It's
properly executed, high quality products, just well done.
Yeah, top of the line, super clean. I mean, you can tell this is all shined up and going to keep that homeowner really happy, really warm, keep his wife's feet very warm in the garage and all that stuff, as well. So,
if I had one of my feet.
Yeah, true. So
well done. Congratulations on the award.
Smart Elements Heating and Cooling. Damien, you, I believe, Alex, we already sent that swag pack out. I think we did. We're ahead of the game here. So, great job, and thanks for showing us your pipe. Welcome back. It's our first guest of the year here now in the February episode of the Mechanical Room, albeit being recorded on March 2nd here. It's a short month.
You just gave it away.
That's okay. Well,
no one would have known.
It's gonna air in March anyway, so people will know. But happy February. I hope you guys had a good one, even though it's concluded. Back to the matter at hand. Welcome to Brandon Hart. He is the heating and engineering product manager for Etna Supply. He's been there for quite some time with various roles, including plumbing customer service, heating customer service, heating and engineer product manager, which is your current role now at the top of Etna. exceeding 30 million in hydronic sales within 2 years of running that department, mechanical designer status. He's trusted by hundreds of contractors across Michigan, and he is our guest next week in
Indeed.
Deutschland, which is why I wore this shirt, sir. You are the esteemed guest of Balfrey Johnston, our Michigan reps, and you'll be accompanying us to the ISH show in Frankfurt, and then on for some revelry in Berlin. Michael Sokaris, please say hello to our guest, Brandon Hart.
Hello, Mr. Hart. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you guys? Thank you.
Doing good. Looking forward to spending some time with you next week.
Yeah, that ought to be a great time.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yes. The last time when last we met, sir, we were at Fox Brothers Barbecue in Atlanta, Georgia, sharing a few cocktails and a few, I don't know, chicken fried ribs or whatever they were feeding us over there at dinner.
Yeah, those were amazing. Those were game changers.
Yes.
I don't think anybody disliked those.
But yes, that was a part of the Balfrey Johnston appreciation dinner at AHR. And it's where we first met, but I am certainly looking forward to getting to know you better when we travel across the pond here to Germany. Are you excited, sir?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know what to expect. I've never been to a show that large. I'm told it makes AHR look like a counter day. So I'm excited.
Have you been to Europe before? Is this your first trip to Europe?
I have not been to Europe, so this is also the first time. So I have my passport. We're ready to go.
That's a good thing. We should have put that in the list. Check your passport, but he did it already, so that's good.
I could see us leaving Dan at the airport, perhaps, or he could get through customs.
That's happened with some of company trips before, where we almost left people behind.
Have you? So I mean, obviously, when we go to Frankfurt, we're going to go to the ISH show. We call it ISH because I don't know. We just have it has a natural pronunciation, but all of our European colleagues call it the ISH show, which is of course the biggest HVAC trade show globally, right? Again, as you said, AHR like a counter day, which is what this looks like. So that's going to be kind of like industry specific, and we're going to go and see the giant booths, some of which are going to be like super impressive, double decker places that have cafes and stuff inside the booth. It's wild. I've never been, but I have heard incredible stories. Then we're going to take a nice train ride up to the capital of Germany, I believe.
I believe so, yes.
Capital city of Germany, Berlin. We can check that. Obviously, we know our geography very well over here.
We're questioning if it's true.
Is there anything that you have looked into in Berlin that you're excited to do specifically?
I have not. There's been some rumor of a potential soccer match that could be going on. That would be an experience in itself.
I think Frankfurt is playing Berlin the day before we leave, so we are trying to make some arrangements. But it is a big soccer town, and tickets are hard to get, so we're trying to figure out how we get them.
Yeah, we'll play that one by ear.
Yeah, our backup plan might actually be more entertaining. Obviously, Mr. George Johnston and Dan McClary of Balfrey Johnston well, and they are like us, very laid back. And we have been, the full disclosure, struggling to find these tickets because mostly they go to Berlin citizens immediately, and they're like very much spoken for. And I've only been able to, on like the German equivalent of StubHub, find pairs, not 8 or 9 or whatever it is, right? So Dan suggested that should that not come to fruition, then we're just going to get hooligan style at a nearby soccer bar while the game is on. And I think the revelry might even be more entertaining. Your thoughts on that, sir?
Oh, absolutely. I've been to a lot of bars and with sporting events. So I can just imagine what it's like in Germany compared to Michigan.
I think the experience of being in Berlin in the stadium would be nice, and that is our goal. But we have a fallback to still see the game if that doesn't come together.
Absolutely.
So we have a little bit more of the agenda as well. I think Mike is going. Oh, you sent a little bit of an email this morning with some, hotel information and stuff like that as well. But we are also going to be taking a tour, guided tour on Saturday morning, I want to say.
Yes.
With a company. Actually, as it turns out, my wife, who went to high school in Pennsylvania, her friend from Pennsylvania, lives in Berlin and works as a tour guide. She herself will not be there. She's traveling that particular weekend, but she put us in touch with one of her colleagues, and we are going to utilize the services of a naturalized German citizen who I
He's
think
an English speaker.
oh, he's from Scotland originally.
Yes.
And he gave us a list of the, you know, the places that we want to be and whatnot. So I don't think there's much we're going to miss in Berlin. There's a lot of cool stuff. The Reichstag building, Museum Hill, the Brandenburg Gate, you know, all of the iconic Berlin stuff. I think Hitler's bunker is on that. So
it's on the list.
So there's a lot of military history, of course, in Berlin. So we're going to touch upon that as well. And in his email, he said one of the funniest things that I'll just always remember because it was just kind of funny was, you know, and when you're in Berlin, you're never more than a few meters from a beer.
Yes.
Everybody's favorite.
Yeah. So take us to the moment. Did Dan call you up? Like, how did he tell you?
Maybe before we get there, we can talk a little bit about what we do here at Centrotherm.
Okay.
So training, obviously, with a newerish product. Is that a word? Newerish? Might be.
More new
product like Centrotherm. Training is a big deal, right? So we work with our reps every year with a little bit of competition. I won't bore everybody with the details. And our reps qualify for our, what we call it, TNT trip, train and travel trip.
It's because he likes AC/DC.
That too.
Oh, there you go.
So we picked up the logo from somewhere to.
Yeah, actually, you know where we took it from? Guys, if you're out there, TNT, the AC/DC tribute band, I stole your logo.
So one rep wins, and what we like them to do is to work in their market to bring an engineer or a distributor or a contractor or a mix. So it's 1 or 2 Centrotherm. This time it's actually 3.
It is.
Centrotherm people that go, and we've got 2 people from our rep, the winning rep, Balfour and Johnson. And then we've got you, Brandon, and also a contractor.
Who? Do you know Andy personally?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Great. Okay.
We talk quite frequently. So
tell us a little bit about Andy. A little, you know, what is he? Is he a shopper at Etna?
He's one of our best hydronic purchasers. So he understands boilers, understands venting, understands pumps, he understands tube. It's a really good partnership between the two. So that it's
that's
just
perfect alignment right there, right? Yeah. Manufacturer, their rep, strong distributor, and a strong customer of theirs. And what we do is we take a trip. We try to do a trip, somehow tie it into business. Last year, there was a tour of our facility, both in the Netherlands and in Germany. It was the 125th anniversary of one of our brands. So they tied that in, plus a visit into Amsterdam. This year, we are doing the ISH trip, our ISH trip, and we are extending it to a trip to Berlin. And that's how we're all getting together this year.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great time. We're glad you're coming along. So tell us a little bit more about Etna Supply. I know a little bit about Etna Supply.
Can I interject too? I think you are our very first. We've been doing this now close to 2.5 years. You are our very first distributor.
Okay.
Visitor, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you said before we started recording that you looked at a previous episode and there was a distributor on there, but I'm not sure who that.
Could be a rep. Could be a rep.
Yeah, I think it might have been a rep.
Yeah,
because
you are our first distributor. I believe.
I think we haven't had any, but we tried to run the gamut of HVAC from code official type people, engineers, contractors. We've had quite a few contractors on. I wonder if you saw. I mean, we've had a few reps on as well. Advertising guys from trade magazines.
Some OEMs. We're at a Navian training center. So we try to people who touch the mechanical room. In different ways, and certainly distributors do that.
So tell us a little bit about Etna Supply, the place that you call home. How many locations, what's like something that maybe separates you from the competition, and maybe something that that differentiates you from the the sort of pejorative that distributors are order takers.
Yeah, so I would start off by saying Etna Supply, family-run company with over 500 employees. If you count all of our fabrication locations, over 25 locations spread out through 4 states. So when I say family business with 500 people, it actually really does feel that way. So it's a great place to work. Everybody, the camaraderie, the events that we do for our customers, everybody feels like this is the place to go.
That's incredible. How many of the, like, you know, it's like a band question, the original members, how many of the original members, how long has Etna been around, and who's the founder? How long has he been dead, and who's running it? Who's running the place now?
Hopefully they're not dead.
So I guess there was two founders. I believe they're both still alive. Not really involved with the company, but their sons are still running the business, and now their sons are starting to get into the business as well in an ownership role. So yeah, it's been passed down. We're probably on third generation of ownership, and the fourth generations, most of those guys are involved in the company in some way.
Where's branch number 1? Where's the epicenter? Is that still headquarters?
Yes, Grand Rapids, Michigan is still, that was the first branch, followed by a Detroit location, Wixom, and those were 1 and 2, and then it kind of spread from there. So the Grand Rapids has turned into a corporate office and a 250,000 square foot distribution center.
Wow. Which location do you work out of, Brandon?
Grand Rapids corporate.
Grand Rapids.
Yep, and I kind of travel between all the little locations, all the satellite branches as well.
So I was joking before when I say order takers. I'm sure you've heard that joke before. You know, certainly you do a lot more than that. You know, you have the trust of contractors and just to expertly design radiant systems and hydronics and snow melt and stuff like that, which obviously puts you, you know, in the thick of things in terms of the actual installations and product recommendations and stuff like that. What is like what's your favorite thing that you get to do in that capacity?
Did Matthew get that scope right? Is that the scope of you and your team? Is there more? And what is your favorite?
Yeah, that really encapsulates our current heating offering. We are 99% hydronic, probably the smallest little tiny bit of typical HVAC. But yeah, anything from boilers to pumps to water quality to venting to everything that we can do in a typical mechanical room, our department handles. So we can take, from a residential standpoint, a set of house plans, work with the contractor, work with the homeowner. We can take that design, work with them, zone their house, tell them how to install it, and our goal in doing that design is to be the most efficient. So we use high efficient equipment, high efficient boilers, high efficient pumps, and we really try to give the best offering we can every time.
Which then makes sort of a natural fit as to why you kind of like what we got going on over here as well. It kind of fits in that portfolio pretty nicely. So what's your favorite part of all of that stuff? That was a pretty wide.
The venting.
Right. So what I would say that my favorite part is every day, every quote, every design is different. From an order taker standpoint, you know, you can take an order and I got to type up the same fittings, the same copper 90s, the same black couplings. But when we work with a contract, work with a customer, everything is different. So when we do sizing, every boiler, every system, every zone valve, every pump is a constant change. So it doesn't make everything just seem redundant. It's probably the best way I can put it.
You know, that's, I think, a thread for folks who are kind of self-starters and things like that is that every day is a bit different. It's not a monotonous, you know, like drawl of the same thing day in, day out. I think there's a certain personality type. I know I'm one of them. That's one of the things I love about my job is that today I'm doing a podcast. Tomorrow I'm doing video editing of this podcast. The next day, you know, we have a meeting with somebody.
Laying out the new catalog.
You know,
page
exactly. You know, I have a meeting to discuss social media strategy on Friday with one of our other reps, like that kind of thing. So it's a very varied scope of work. So you know, we're obviously going to get along that way.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So tell us about your relationship with Balfrey Johnston. We go back with those guys now, probably not as long as you do, but they've been one of our long-standing reps now.
About, I would say 3.5 plus years now, 4 years.
Which doesn't seem like a long time, but we've had a lot of turnover in our rep family until we find the right ones, let's say.
Right.
And those guys are some of my favorite guys to work with. Dan is obviously like a consummate sales guy who's got attentive to detail and super personable. And George's got like the, the professional engineering mindset. Yes. And, and Brandon and Jeff Johnston Jr. and they got like all their little specific areas of interest. And they're all like really good, and they all seem to have a good time doing it. So, tell us a little bit about your relationship with Balfour Johnston.
Yeah, so I guess my relationship with them almost starts when I started at Etna Supply. They got to be, I would say, in the top 5 rep firms that Etna Supply deals with. Especially on our heating side, they could be number 1 with their offering with Navian, with their PEX lines, their obviously Centrotherm. So yeah, we work really well together. And what I really like about those guys is they actually offer value to us and to the customer and to the end user. They really get into the product. They know the product. They know how it should work, and that's a big selling point when promoting what they rep.
Could I dig a little deeper there? I'd like to got a different mix of people that listen to the podcast, from young apprentice installers to
1 foot in the grave.
That too. You're very morbid today. I don't know.
I'm getting dark over here.
He's ready for vacation. He wants to go on vacation.
It's funny. I just got back from Mardi Gras, so yeah, I need another one. Yeah.
So, but the question is, and you deal with a lot of reps in a lot of different markets, a lot of different branches. So this is kind of a generic, big picture question. What do you look for as a distributor? Right, you're picking out your lines, you're picking out your partners. What makes a good rep a really good rep? What are the qualities of a good rep?
Yeah, so what I look for, one, as the relationship grows, is it beneficial to both parties? And what I mean by that is, what I believe Balfour Johnston is doing is getting products to align with future needs within the industry.
Big picture stuff.
Yeah, big picture stuff. So especially with Centrotherm, that's a big one, because currently we can vent with PVC in Michigan, but that's changing. So we want to be at the forefront of that change. And with any of the lines that they sell, I'll use Navian for example, very innovative company. Centrotherm, when we were looking for something other than PVC, you guys came to mind, and that was a perfect fit with what Balfour reps for you guys in that category.
Yeah, George, and I'll say this, is George is one of my favorite people to work for, because I do feel that way sometimes, because he is so, and I need people like him to keep me honest in a lot of ways, because he's so detail oriented, and he's got such a vision and foresight in an industry that I'm certainly newer than he is in this, but along those lines, George is like one of the top minds that we get to pick the brain of. And if I have questions about anything about this type of stuff, he's one of my first people that I go to, and he answers the phone, which is amazing. I mean, he could be somebody who just puts his feet up and and delegates and whatnot, but I think you can tell there's an earnest love of the trades, fascination with the technology, and sort of business sense and personability with George, and really with Dan and the rest of the guys that I have had the pleasure of meeting, that it really just emanates through their whole organization, and making them one of my favorite of our reps to work with, of which we do have many, but they certainly are a standout to me.
Yeah, one of the things that we mention this when we bring a new rep on board is challenge us, like as a manufacturer, right? We've got some things that we do pretty well, but we want to get better. And I will tell you that George in particular, and Balfour and Johnston as a rep agency, have come to us. I mean, I can tick off things where they've come to us and said, one of them was, hey, your
submittal is garbage.
Your submittal, it sucks. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, well, sorry, but you said that, we can challenge you. And I was like, yes, that's how we get better. And I said, okay, now you're drafted into helping us create a better submittal.
And he did. He absolutely, I drafted it up. I sent it to him. He made, he basically, I want to say he printed it out and drew on it, and then scanned it back to me with really clear and lucid improvements to the thing. Sure. The other one would be, like the Navian matrix. He was helpful with that one as well. It's kind of complicated to come invent any system. So, him along with our OEM manager, Jim Stafford, and our engineering team have put together, like a grid system as to which model, then what kit and what part number and all that sort of stuff, and laid it out very clearly. And that's the kind of help that someone like me specifically really, really values.
Those improvements would not have been made without George's attention and pushing.
Or as well as they turned out. So yeah, so how about this? Like what could we do better to support, we try to stay away, and let's make this the last product related question. Like, how do we support you guys better from a manufacturer standpoint, or what do we do well, or what do we do terribly that needs improvement? Like,
so same kind of the same question of what do you look for in a rep? What do you look for in a manufacturer that you're going to be you're going to be representing us and selling our product in the market? What do you look for from us or other manufacturers like us?
So I just will start back to the rep with George and using your product and going back to those vent kits. Those are huge because he's taking those things that you guys have helped design with him to the engineering level as well. So engineers in the marketplace feel comfortable using your product because you guys have basically approved a design that they can slap together with the existing system, with a new system, anything that way. And what you guys do well is in credit to you guys is your marketing. You guys are out there. You guys are advertising. You guys are working with reps. You're working with distributors, co-op funds, all that stuff to get your name out there. And that's what we love. Bring awareness to a product that actually offers solutions in the marketplace. And that's where I think Belfry fits well with you guys.
Yeah, and that word awareness we use all the time.
So the marketing is exceptional.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. You'll get no argument from me, sir.
Yeah.
Did you pay him? Pay him for that?
Oh, that's amazing. All right. So how about you as a human being? I know obviously we're gonna hoist a few steins in a couple of weeks, but
right.
Are you from Michigan? Is that where you grew up? Tell us a little bit about like your non-work resume and stuff. I know you got 2 kids. Where you're from? What do you like to do? Are you just a chauffeur? Are you the coach in the team? That kind of stuff.
Well, I yes, 2 kids. I gave up coaching a little while ago. Your kids don't listen to you after a certain point anyway. So I kind of said, no, I'll just step aside. I still yell on the sideline, but yeah, it's actually been a kind of a chauffeur situation going on the last couple years. But yes, born in Grand Rapids, really never left. As a family, we're big sports guys, so we go to sporting events, basketball games, football games. Yeah, Michigan State. So yeah, that's kind of an every Saturday football thing. We're always either at the game or around the TV or in the garage having a party watching with friends. So that's been a big thing. Personally, I've switched to golf. So
I didn't mention that in his bio, but he is the best golfer at Etna Supply.
Okay.
Maybe there's a couple that can compete.
Put it out there now. He may be challenged by some others.
Right. I'm everybody's favorite scramble partner. So
that's hilarious. So Mike nor I are avid golfers.
We like to golf as an event, but we're not that good.
Sure.
So are you? How often? I mean, the weather's warming up. Have you? Not yet in Michigan, I'm guessing, right?
Right. Yep. Not yet.
So you haven't hit the leg.
Couple indoor training sessions,
okay.
Simulator, but yeah, once May and beginning of May hits, it's full go.
What's your favorite like location to play at that you've experienced? What's a dream goal to go hit a few at?
So being in Michigan, if you're familiar with Michigan, I think Arcadia Bluffs is the pinnacle golf course in Michigan. And at Etna Supply, we do events there. That's a big customer draw. Spend 2 days. They have 2 courses up there. But I would say it's got to be Pebble Beach. That one you can actually get to and play. Never been there yet, but that's kind of a bucket list course for me.
Excellent. Well, I think you'll make it one day.
Oh,
We will indeed. One other question that we ask almost everybody.
I know.
Music choice. What do you listen to?
You know, that's a good question because depends who's in the car with me or what I'm doing. My kids are love Dude Perfect, YouTube sensation.
My son does as well.
So,
the
Spotify playlist.
Your sons are, I believe, the same age. Yeah.
Okay.
Gus is 9.
Is 9. Caleb is 8.
Right?
Yeah. So anything Dude Perfect, all those music they put on their videos is a Spotify playlist. So if you're at the beach, Michigan, if you're by the lake, it's probably country. If I'm working out, it's probably some rock. So I don't really have a preference, but it just depends on the situation that I'm in.
So we then go into like, well, if you had to pick a favorite band, then who would that be?
Well, if you're going to ask me who my favorite person or theory to listen to, this is kind of old school. I guess I'd have to go like Eminem. High school. That's where
Detroit,
the guy.
Detroit boy, right?
So any song he has on there is kind of loaded into my workout playlist. So there you go.
I mean, it's not a bad one. I mean, I think at this point, Eminem is often considered the GOAT. So,
right.
Certainly he's certainly on the Mount Rushmore of top hip hop artists of all time.
Sure.
Even a metalhead like myself appreciate Eminem.
There you go.
Yes, indeed, sir. Well, Mr. Hart, we've taken up quite a bit of your time, and we're going to take up a few days further in just a couple of days. So we'll let you get back to crushing things with Etna Supply. But we thank you for joining us here on the Mechanical Room, and we look forward to seeing you in Deutschland.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
See you in a little more than a week.
Yes, sir.
We went all over the place on this particular podcast.
To the bowels of
to the bowels of subjects all over.
Well, we are at plumbing. We're involved with plumbing, so you got to think about that stuff here and there. A lot of people are a lot more involved with that stuff than we are. We just get to crack some jokes about trade show acronyms.
Yes, and we didn't mention one of the most important ones.
We didn't. We actually had a great time at AHR.
AHR was wonderful. Biggest booth we've ever had. Biggest traffic we've ever had. We mixed product, some new introduction of material, new products, and even the mechanical room was live. It
was, and there's, I implore everyone listening to check out our Instagram at Centrotherm Ecosystems, and obviously subscribe here and follow us there. There's a bunch of content that's on the YouTube channel already. There's some content to come, and the other day, I'm sure you saw, I took a 75-minute clip.
I did see that.
And I condensed it. I time-lapsed it down at, I believe, 7,000% speed. And it's kind of funny because it was just a lengthy clip, but you can clearly see.
Certain people that, are recognizable.
They are.
Are we going to get that backdrop wall?
They are waiting to palletize it at the place. So I have been in touch with our project manager at Metro Exhibits. And
shout out to them.
Yep,
it was a success.
It was. Just like anything, there's always ups and downs, but by and large, AHR was, I think, a resounding success, and I think multiple tiers of this company in attendance also feel that way.
Yes.
We had a great time with innumerable contractors and plumbers and HVAC experts and the influencer crowd, let's call them. I'm hesitant to use that, including also our night at the Tactical Awards, which was also exceptional.
Yeah, that was exceptional. Thank you to Ben in particular for inviting us. That was a great event.
It's funny because who do we see?
Who did we not see?
Well, that's a good question, but I'm talking about in particular like folks who have already been guests of this program.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a ton of them there.
Yes, there were. So
actually picked up some new stickers.
Oh yeah,
on my new computer.
Hell yeah.
So
it was super nice to meet Justin Vader, aka Vader the plumber.
Yes.
Obviously someone who's pretty well known on the internet, and
awesome.
That's the reason. In particular, I see that sticker. You got 2 Flynn stickers? Is that what those are?
No.
One is Flynn, and who's the other guy?
Oh, that's the dude from up in Washington State. What's his name?
Northwest HVAC.
Northwest HVAC.
Yes,
thank you.
of course.
There was a spot here on the side that I'm still saving for some stickers.
No,
to come.
He's asking subtly.
HVAC wizard. What was that? I forget.
The Reaper was the one.
Reaper. That's
the Reaper.
We've exchanged some DMs and it's on the way. So prime real estate right there.
It definitely is. I mean, I have mine up here too. Really good friends of us here, as you can see, George and Jess and Eric and Ben. And I mean,
how can we forget?
And Kara
Right.
sticker, and
What
of course
about
Terrence.
Terrence in the
and-
center there, nice
yeah.
gold embossed.
So I have that same sticker on my bottle, but I can't bring that over because the green screen. Actually, we should see what that looks like.
It'll probably bleed right through, would it not?
Well, I think the gold will work.
So the gold would be floating.
Actually, I added a few new stickers to my thing. So let's see what this looks like here, because the green is probably going to go away. So of course, we have some of these Centrotherm bottles, and I have a Tim Morales sticker. That's the blue one. And our illustrious inside sales team lead,
like
Kara's got another one.
Skull right there. with the green.
And then, of course, I did put the Impetus logo on there as well. So I'm wondering if this is just a green screen test at this point. I'm just curious if this is like floating stickers and a bottle, a silver bottle.
The little things that amuse us, right?
Listen, I mean, IBS and green screens. That's what this podcast is all about at the heart of it, right?
IBC and ISH and
AHR and, all of it.
we need the dictionary.
MSU, right? Michigan State University.
That's right.
TMI, Tim Morales, and it's got it all.
It does. So next month, what are we going to be doing next month?
Well, we're going to be recapping our TNT trip.
Okay.
So, I mean, I will be rolling camera like crazy when we were in Germany. So we will have good footage of our boys at Balfour Johnston, and you and I, of course. We should probably, maybe if we get the right photos ahead of time, we can do a show us your pipe on location like we did in Amsterdam.
Yeah, that would be good.
Maybe
Or a Monday message if you don't follow us. Make sure you're checking out our Monday message. Every Monday we
should try to do a couple of those
Yeah,
perhaps, and maybe we could even get George to do one perhaps.
or all those guys somehow be involved.
Yeah, I'm sure that they have thoughts on information that they'd like disseminated to the general populace. Whether I mean, that's actually one of the nice things about this is we have the whole channel essentially along with us on this TNT trip, right? We have a installer, a distributor, a rep, and we're of course the manufacturers. So interesting. We have a little meeting of the minds going on here as Kara starts the meeting that we are late for right now. So
never a shortage of things to do here.
I almost want
to
to start join the meeting while we're in progress here to see what happens on this, and let's see what she says. Let's see. This is really
live test,
high flying right now on the mechanical room.
This is what you do, right? You
because,
just make things happen.
Yeah. I'm curious as to what's going to actually occur when I join into this meeting, and maybe I will have edited this away because it's ridiculous, but we're going to find out the camera's not going to work because the camera's already in use over there.
Yeah.
So
we can see her. There she is. So
we're live on the mechanical room because we're late to this meeting, Kara, as we conclude this episode.
Look at the look on her face.
I don't think you can you see the camera? Probably not, right? It's in use in a different program. I'm wondering if they'll hear you either. So either way, we have come to the end of this magnanimous episode here.
Yet another.
And we have to get on to discuss less pertinent matters than IBS. Let's say adios for February. And we'll be back again in March with some TNT highlights, another Show Us Your Pipe segment, another amazing guest, and all of the potty humor that I can improvise.
Maybe a little less than this month, though.
Maybe.
Just a little.
Maybe.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see.
All right.
Later.
Adios.